the Rothschilds underground city energy reading. So I was watching this random Parisian real estate show on Netflix one day, just passing the time, and to my complete shock and horror, they started showing a property that is the most expensive property in France, and it is the former home of none other than the Rothschilds, and it had a literal underground city. Now, the family that's in this real estate show, they have amazing energy. I really, really love this family, but oh my goodness, the dark energy in this place was overwhelming. So let's get into it. Of course, this video is for entertainment purposes only, just my perspective as an energy reader, and I very well could be wrong. So this was the home here. Now, even though this is aesthetically a beautiful home, all right, even looking at that picture, you can sense the darkness. Now, you can see that there's a body of water next to the property as well. Now, looking into the energetics of this area, this property has been built upon intersecting ley lines. The energy of this place should actually be very, very powerful. But what you will find is people in positions of power, they know very well how energy works, and they will purposely put buildings and landmarks on top of points that are intersecting ley lines because they will use the energy in an inverted way. And what you're about to see in this underground city really does show that. Now, it didn't quite show in this show how far these tunnels did stretch, all right, but you can clearly see that they go on for miles. You cannot see the end to these tunnels. There is rooms upon rooms upon rooms upon rooms. And one really does have to ask themselves, why would you need an underground city? When you have a home that size, right, why would you need all of this underground? There was a kitchen that could cater for 500 people. Again, why would you need to cater for 500 people underground when you have that house upstairs? It just doesn't make sense. It had a railway station underneath, and you cannot see the end to where this railway goes. And apparently this is where all their goods were delivered via this underground railway. Quite possibly one of the creepiest parts of this home in this underground city is this room right here. If you're familiar with symbolism, you will be able to spot secret society symbolism within this image. What even is this room as well? So I'm going to point out some of the symbolism. So you can see the multi-pointed star down here as well. So when this is used in an inverted manner, what this essentially means is energy harvesting and ritual sealing. So essentially when it's used in an inverted way, it's used to siphon energy. In the centre of this multi-pointed star, there is a massive demonic portal that's open. In this room alone, the amount of energies that I can see and feel in this room is definitely really overwhelming. I feel very nauseous when I look at this picture. When you walk in somewhere, you feel really heavy energy, you feel nauseous. That is a strong indication that there's some really dark energy somewhere. Not only that, there is a mass amount of what we call negative emotional imprints that are here, and it's trauma imprints specifically. And the best way that I can say this is it is youthful trauma imprints that are here, particularly in this room. You can see the rosettes as well everywhere. Rosettes are essentially used to open portals and for ritualistic power as well. This is a room where there's been many, many rituals performed, and very, very dark rituals at that. When I look into like an aerial view of the property and the energies that I see there, this property has so many different energies. Yes, it's an old home, but that is not what I'm seeing. There's multiple different open dark portals. Now, as I said, this home sits upon intersecting ley lines. So the energy there should be beautiful, it should be powerful, it should be pure. But when that energy has been used in an inverted way and portals are open somewhere, what then happens is it infects the energy of the whole area as well, because then it's now dark energy that's running through the ley lines, and it infects the area of everyone who's round about there as well. Those ley lines will connect throughout the whole of France, and then France is connected to Spain, connected to everywhere else throughout the world. So France in particular is very connected to New York's energy lines. So basically that energy just infects, it becomes infected upon the whole world. So this is why they have purposely built properties, buildings and landmarks upon these intersecting ley lines, allegedly. So the more awful things that happen somewhere, the darker that energy becomes. Now again, when I look into an aerial view of this property, and what I essentially see is a mass amount of what we call earthbound spirits. So earthbound spirits are basically trapped fragments of souls. So they are souls that have either passed away in a very traumatic way, and it's like a piece of them has left behind. And when I looked into this property, there's a mass amount of child trapped fragments of souls here, which indicates that a mass amount of children have passed away here. Make of that what you will. And what was also shown here is an operating room. An operating room. So you have to ask yourself seriously why they would need an operating room underground. What is going on in that operating room? Now, when I look into the energy of that room in particular, that is on par with the darkness of the energy of the ritual room that I just showed you. Again, mass amounts of trauma imprints here. And now, yes, anyone going through surgeries, you know, it is traumatic, but not on the level and how heavy the energy is here. Now, when I looked into how many open portals there was in this property alone, there are 4 open portals in this property, all very, very dark portals that have been opened. I would definitely see that there's a further, much bigger ritual room that's there, where there's an even bigger demonic portal that's opened there as well. Now, I didn't sense any negative ET energy, like reptilian energy, which I was quite surprised about. It's mainly demonic energy and a mass amount of earthbound spirits. Be interesting to see if that home has sold or who ends up buying that home, right? As someone who is very sensitive to energy, when I was tuning in, reading the energy here, I had to keep withdrawing. I was getting real headaches, feeling very nauseous. That's always a strong indicator that there's some very, very, very heavy energy at play here. The type of demonic energy feels very high level demonic energy, which would also indicate that these types of energy were being summoned through rituals. You know, quite alarming that these people quite literally rule the world, right? So as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments.